So the UFC has just announced Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane for the heavyweight championship, and yeah, I want to give my early predictions for that matchup as of what's today, January the 15th, I believe. So here are my early predictions for that matchup. The whole Ngannou thing, I'll probably make a different video on that, like on what he'll do, but I just want to focus on the predictions for now. So, Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane. Who do I think is going to win? I think Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones is going to beat Ciryl Gane due to the wrestling, because I think if now here's different factors where I might have picked Gane under different circumstances, but here are the current circumstances that are causing me to lean Jon Jones. I'm not sitting here. I'm not confident in that prediction at all, because Ciryl Gane has had a year since the Francis Ngannou fight, which he arguably could have won. But anyways, he's had a year since the Francis Ngannou fight to improve his takedown defense. He's had over a year, to really work on his grappling. And he also knows that Jones is going to try to grapple him. So I'm sure he's going to prepared. But I do think Jon Jones will still win that matchup. And I think it's going to do because of the wrestling, obviously. Because I just don't think Jon has anything for... He has nothing for Gane on the feet. On the feet, Jon Jones's striking is like tailor-made for Gane to pick apart. He's very, I don't know, he's just very basic at times. He has good kicks. He likes to keep his striking more on the outside. But that's Gane's game, keeping it on the outside. He'll hit him with the leg kicks. He'll completely pick Jon Jones apart. And yeah, I don't think Jon has anything for Gane on the feet. He has the reach advantage, but I don't think that's anywhere near enough to deal with a world-class Muay Thai striker in Ciryl Gane. But I do think Jon Jones will win in the wrestling, and I will explain why. Jon Jones has built himself for heavyweight. He has put on the weight. He has spent many years I mean like 2 years, since 2020, since he vacated the light heavyweight belt. He was always going to move up to heavyweight. So anyways, yeah, he's been building himself into a heavyweight, building up muscle, building up this. And I think by now he's had 2 years. If we were talking like maybe 6 months later, I don't think he'd be big enough to really deal with a guy like Ciryl Gane, even in 6 months. But 2 years, I think that's more than enough time for Jon Jones to really build himself into a heavyweight. And if Jon Jones has built himself into a heavyweight, maybe weighing in at, I could see him weighing in at 220, and then on fight night being like 240, 245, maybe 250 at the heaviest, but I really doubt that. I'd say like a decently sized heavyweight in Jon Jones, plus his wrestling. I just think that's a recipe for disaster for Ciryl Gane, because if Ngannou, who isn't really that much of a skilled wrestler, if he can get you down and just, I get it, that's like 260 pounds, 270, 280 pounds plus laying on top of you. I understand. But yet again, like, Ngannou just held him there. Like, Ciryl Gane didn't really know how to get up. Like, he did, like, it's not all about just laying on top. Like, there is a level of technique that you should have to at least, like, try to get up. And he couldn't get up. He just got laid on top of, like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, there's a level of technique. There's a level of, like, he looks so lost. There's a level of, like, I don't care how much weight is on you. There's a level of technique, at least a level to at least, like, get up, like changed, and he was moving around a little bit, but it's just he didn't know what he was doing. Like he couldn't get up. Like he couldn't do it. Yeah, he got up from some of the takedowns, I believe, but he got held down again. He got held down for a large duration before he got up at any point in that fight, if he did at all. And when he did, I think it was too late. Ngannou had all that control time. So if Ngannou can get you down with not being a super extremely skilled wrestler himself, imagine what Jon Jones is going to do to you. His, what's the word, accolades, his wrestling accolades. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'll just say superior wrestling. On top of being built into the heavyweight, being built into the weight class, I think just a guy with the wrestling accolades of Jon Jones, I think he'll be able to get Gane down and do much, much better than Ngannou did. Because like I said, he also has the submission threats. He'll have Gane squirming around on bottom, and he could like lock in a rear naked. He could go for an arm, go for a Kimura. Like he just has several things to threaten Gane with and keep him still. And Gane will be like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with this. You know what I mean? So I just think that with all these things, I think Jon will just rack up the control time, and that's how he'll win the round. I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be a split decision. I think it'll be a clear Jon Jones win. 248-47s, 149-46. Usually those scorecards actually mean a robbery, as we saw in the Ngannou versus Gane fight and Colby versus Usman. And what was the other fight? Whitaker versus Adesanya. But I think this will be a legit 248-47 and 149-46, arguably. That'll be legitimate scorecards that aren't rigged. Because I know when we see the 49-46, like I said, it's like, oh no. But I think this will be a legit 3-2 Jon Jones, arguably 4-1. So, yeah. That's what I think will happen. Let me see. Yeah, I just think he'll be able to do much better. I think he'll be able to just do much better on the ground than Ngannou did, because I don't know, he's just so much more skilled on the ground than Ngannou. He's just so much more technical on the ground as well. Where I think like just his skill alone can keep Gane down. Yeah, he's not like I'm sure he won't be the biggest heavyweight ever, but he'll still be a decently sized heavyweight, since he's by now should have built himself into the weight class. And if he has, I just think the size and the skill, like the size and the wrestling skill, I just think it's going to be huge problems for Gane. And I get it. I'm sure he's been working on his wrestling for a year. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know if he can close that gap, because it's like Jon Jones is going to get him down eventually. And when he does, I think it's going to be huge problems for him. Because there's a difference between takedown defense and actual, like, being on bottom, like, getting up. Like, there's a difference between stuffing a takedown and getting back up after getting taken down. And I just think Jon is going to shoot a whole bunch. And when he gets him down, I think there's going to be huge problems for Gane to deal with. Like I said, with the submission threat, or just Jon transitioning on top, going half guard, just doing some work on top and winning himself the rounds. You know what I mean? Just him trying to transition to better positions. Gane squirming around, but then Jon Jones reaching for that arm and Gane being like, oh no, let me not move too much. And I think Jon will just end up winning the round by just control time on top. And yeah, that's what I think will happen. That's just what I think will happen. I think the first round, Jon Jones and Gane, I think they're just going to feel it out. I think the first round will go to Gane. I think after the first round, Jon's going to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. And I think the second, third, and fourth rounds, I think he's going to really start getting Gane down. Gane might stuff a few takedowns, but eventually Jon will get him down. And then Gane's going to have a real problem. And I think even if he does get back up, Jon would have already put in so much work on the ground, whether with the submission attempts or just staying on top, engaging in some ground and pound that Gane had to deal with, and just not being able to do enough on the feet to, what's the word? To outweigh, the damage that Jon did on the ground. And I think he'll beat him that way. And he might win the fifth round, but Jon could win it too. I think it'll be 3-2 Jon Jones, arguably 4-1 in the fifth. Yeah, I think it's a tough one for Gane. That's just what I think. Yeah. And can I be honest with you? People are gonna think I'm absolutely insane, but I even thought Ngannou would legitimately beat Gane in a rematch. Because I just think he would, because I think he'd really overthink the takedown, and then I think he'd get hit clean. Because Ngannou isn't the fastest, but when he connects, he is he hurts you, bro. And I just think that Ngannou could feint a takedown, hit him with a straight right hand or a left hand, I don't know. Something, get Gane thinking about the takedown, and then just bombing him with a huge shot and putting Gane down. And I just think I just think even Ngannou would beat Gane. I think he'd KO him. I genuinely think that. Even with the improved striking, people can say that's a hot take, but I think even Ngannou would have beat Gane in the rematch, and I think he would have finished him. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I think Jon Jones is going to win.
So anyways, that's my prediction for this fight. Yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. But that's about it. That's about all I got. Thank you for watching.